All right, let's break it down with the Steeler great himself, our two-time Super Bowl champ, Bryant McFadden, with the terrible towel in tow. I feel like I just got to roll the ball out for you here. A lot to get to here, B-Mac. I want to talk about Pickett. I want to talk about some of the issues there in Indy as well. But let's lead things off here talking about Kenny Pickett in his Monday Night Football debut. We always talk about these moments and how much they mean to young quarterbacks. What does a moment like this on the national stage mean to his maturation process?
Well, Joe, I think it's huge for his confidence. Once again, in 2 straight weeks, I think it's safe to say Kenny Pickett is starting to look comfortable within this offense. He's starting to look comfortable as the starting quarterback. And because of that, we saw some pretty good moments from Kenny Pickett. He didn't blow you away with his numbers, but I'm okay in seeing the production he was able to give the Pittsburgh Steelers. Most importantly, Joe, no turnovers. He didn't force the football in spaces it was not supposed to go. And because of that, he always kept his team within reach of winning this ball game, and that was what they were able to do because, as you mentioned in regards to the Indianapolis Colts, they had costly turnovers that put this game in favor of the Pittsburgh Steelers. Because of the smart football that Kenny Pickett was able to play, because of Kenny utilizing his athleticism, making things happen with his legs, this was a huge opportunity for Kenny Pickett to find a way to win the ball game, and he was able to do so.
That he was. It seems like Mike Tomlin always gets the most out of his players. We've touched on that numerous times before here on the program. We could get to it in a bit here, but interesting situation here with the run game for Pittsburgh, because it seemed like the run game almost came to life after Najee left with that abdominal injury. I'm not to suggest that this run game is better off without him, but what did you see in those moments where they did find some productivity beyond Najee Harris?
Well, Najee did some pretty good things during his short time in the ball game, but it seems like Benny Snell, when he jumped in, you saw more of a burst. I don't believe Najee is 100% healthy. I think it's safe to say he hasn't been 100% healthy the entire year. Remember, he was dealing with a foot injury during training camp. So I think understanding and knowing how important he is for this team, he didn't get a chance to really rest. But when he went out, you didn't really see any drop-off in production. McFarland did some pretty good things. Of course, Benny Snell had a huge rushing touchdown. Those guys was consistently falling forward. And let's tip our hats to the offensive line unit as well. Because remember, for such a long time, it seems like throughout this year, that has been the Achilles heel for the offense. Not just about the inconsistency in protecting your quarterback, but the offensive woes in paving quality sound running lanes for the running backs. They had no issue today, playing against a pretty good defense on the road, by the way. So tip your hat to the offensive linemen doing what they were able to do, and because of that, we saw success from the running backs.
Yeah, nice win here for Pickett and Pittsburgh. Let's talk about Indy here for a moment, because there are no moral victories in this game that we love, but for the second straight week, it looks like a team that has responded to coaching. 3 straight weeks if you count the win prior to these 2 near misses here for Jeff Saturday's led club. When you look at Saturday, this is a team that came out and looked flat in the first half and then looked like a completely different team, especially in that third quarter. Maybe Jeff Saturday's not pulling all the strings, but he appears to be pulling the right ones when he needs to. What did you make of the coaching performance and the way that the team responded here on Monday night?
I thought Jeff Saturday, outside of the time management concerns late in the fourth quarter, not utilizing any timeouts when you had 3 at your disposal, I think outside of that, he coached a pretty good ball game. Like you talked about, the first half and the second half was night and day for the Indianapolis Colts. Couldn't do anything in the first half. Out of the locker room after halftime, a huge kickoff return that led to a scoring opportunity for the Colts. They capitalized on that opportunity, and they just kind of dominated the flow of the ball game until midway through the fourth quarter, where Pittsburgh was able to find their stride once again. So I don't think there was an issue in coaching. Like I said, they just didn't execute well in the first half. Pittsburgh was well prepared. They came out with a sense of urgency. We saw adjustments, and that's something that you want to see from your team, from your coach, making adjustments, especially if things were not going in your favor. We saw the adjustments. They just didn't have enough, and we can highlight what went right and what went wrong. I still believe the turnovers, right? You talked about the interception in the beginning of the ball game that jump-started things for Pittsburgh. Granted, they were able to put 3 points on the scoreboard and not capitalizing in the red zone. That fumble between the quarterback and the running back was a big-time blow because clearly they had an opportunity to put 7 on the scoreboard.
As you take a look at that exchange, we were talking about it upstairs, B-Mac, and I know a spirited newsroom conversation sort of gets you going as well. Do you put that on one party or another? I know we're looking at it here slowed down, which often tells a different story, but it looked like Ryan put it where he needed it to. The exchange there, do you put that on Taylor, maybe getting his eyes upfield before he needed to?
Yeah, I put that more so on Jonathan Taylor. It's not just about having his eyes in front of him. He actually closed his cup down too soon. And because of that, that's what led to this fumble and a huge, great opportunity, because I really felt like, based on my viewpoint of the ball game, it felt like Matt Ryan was going to recover the football. He just got, he lost the battle on the ball. And that was huge for Pittsburgh, because a touchdown there, who knows how this game would have played out if the Colts were able to get a touchdown. But I put more of that blame on Jonathan Taylor. He actually closed it a little fast. Little league football, they tell you, make sure you hold it open till you feel it hit your chest, till you feel it hit your stomach. If you don't feel it, leave it open. When you feel it, then you close down. And we know he's a veteran running back with a lot of experience. Just an untimely mistake. Yeah,
momentum shift there in the ball game. You could say it was a decisive one in that very moment. However you stack it up, whoever the coach is, this is a Colts team that's now a loser in 5 of their last 6 and staring down a stretch of the Cowboys, the Vikings, and the Chargers coming up. Could be tough sledding, but we can't talk about coaching without talking about Mike Tomlin, a man that you played for. And B-Mac, it's very interesting because this is a different situation than we've seen him coach in before, but still, it's that point of the year where teams start letting go of the rope. And it doesn't seem like there's any of that in this team, and we saw it again here on Monday night. How does this guy continue to do this even when they don't have the talent that they've had in years past?
I mean, when you play on the primetime stage, he used to tell us all the time, it's a 5-star matchup because we're in it. And go out and give the football world a show. Everyone is watching. You know they're watching. Make sure you give them their money's worth, right? And that's what we saw tonight. Not to mention, this ball game was kind of evenly matched. You know what I mean? Even it might be safe to say the Pittsburgh Steelers, they have more talent than the Indianapolis Colts. So I was extremely comfortable with this play for Mike Tomlin. This was my all-on-the-line wager in regards to the Pittsburgh, in regards to the Steelers getting points, and the graphic speaks for itself. Now, currently 19-3. Before tonight's matchup, he was 18-3, second all-time in the NFL. The only person that has a better record than Mike Tomlin on Monday night is the late, great John Madden. Madden was 11-1-1. Think about that, right? Mike Tomlin is number 2, currently at 19-3 on Monday night. Long story short, regardless of who the quarterback is, regardless of who on the team, you want to follow Mike Tomlin when he plays on Monday night because he wins way more than he loses.
That is for sure. Few better when the lights get bright than Mike Tomlin. Bryant McFadden, always on the money here on HQ. B-Mac, give us, just on the way out here, give us a little wave there.
Here we go, Steelers. Here we go.
Only one way to end it. Thank you, B-Mac.
Hey, Joe, if you want to borrow a terrible towel, I got like 17 of them around here, so just let me know.
Game used. I need one with the Mac signature on there as well. You won't see it on eBay.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, my friend.
Yes, sir.
And don't forget, the conversation always continues with B-Mac and P2 on all things covered. And we got something special coming this weekend. You'll see the fellas in Minnesota for a big-time matchup. The Jets and the Vikings face off with playoff implications on both sides. And you'll get an in-depth preview from B-Mac. And after the game, you'll hear from P2 as well. Download, subscribe, and enjoy all things covered.
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.